Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Today is the anniversary of the birth in 1779 of Peter Marc Roget, best known of course for his Thesaurus, that collection of words with their meanings and synonyms and antonyms, and a wonderful resource for anybody who has to write or speak in a way that when you don't want to repeat the same word too often. But his main job in life, his profession, was he was a very distinguished doctor. And it wasn't until he retired in 1840 at the age of 61 that he started beginning to put together a serious collection of lists, culminating in 1852 in the publication of his Thesaurus, which has not been subsequently surpassed by any equivalent collection of words. He started, though, making lists of words in 1805 when he was in his 20s, and it's thought that the reason for this was that he suffered rather badly from depression, and that somehow making these lists of words was his way of calming himself, of enabling himself to come to terms with his depression and dealing with it. And it struck me that lists can be very valuable in that respect. Not just words, maybe. I think most of us find, if we're feeling as though we've got far too much on our plate, that somehow just to list them, perhaps even put them in an order of priority, somehow gives a sort of structure to what otherwise feels pretty chaotic and pretty overwhelming. And I think when we're feeling low and despondent and as though life is a bit too much for us, making a list can be quite helpful. Maybe a list of things that need to be done, but other lists too that just somehow put the chaos that we feel we're surrounded with into some kind of order. I think what we need when we're feeling low is a sense that actually there is an orderliness to our lives, that we can things can be organised in a way that gives us some sense of control over what's going on, and lists are a very good way of doing that. Another similar approach is to tidy up, just to make sure that your environment, your room or your home, is tidy, that things are in the right place. It just seems to give a sort of a constructive feel to life when otherwise things can seem pretty meaningless. We all have different ways of dealing with times of lowness and of feeling dejected, and you will have your own. But I was interested in Roget's and thought that maybe worth mentioning today that lists of things to do, of people we love, of happy places that we've been, of things we would like to do, given the different, when we get through the difficult period, all sorts of reasons why we can make a list and somehow put some order and give some meaning to a feeling which otherwise can make us feel pretty low and dejected.